You ready to start? Someone's ready. Good girl.
Let's get us set up. Good. Good. Can you sit? Yeah. Good job. Can you down? Yes. Or you could avoid it. Really, leave it alone. You good? Okay. So, Amberly's airplane crate came. What I'm wanting to do today is I want to train her to be like super comfortable being in there because I'm not going to be there when she's flying out. So I need her to be super comfortable and that to be like her safe space when we go, because I've never used a crate that's like super enclosed and like that for her. So I want to train her to be comfortable in there. So, excuse her, she's right there, you see her? Yeah, you knew I have a treat, but. So we're gonna get started on that. What I'm gonna start with is I'm not gonna put the lid on yet. I'm gonna start like super low, like super easy for her. So I just want her to go in and out, in and out. She associates a command with going in there. So what I'm gonna be using is Go on Your Crate, which she already knows, but I'm gonna apply it to this so she understands that this is her crate. So let's get started. So as you can see, the lid is completely off and there's nothing inside. So what I'm going to be starting with is Emily, come. Good. Can you inside? Yes. Rewarding her every time she goes in. Okay. Now she's like super motivated at this point, and as you can see, is because I have a good treat, good currency. If your dog likes toys better, then you can try using that, and every time they go in, just throw it or play tug. Emily, go in your crate. Yes. See, she understands because this is so big. She's like, oh, go in here and get a treat. Okay. And she can only go out when I say okay. Yes. Go in your crate. Good girl. Okay. Yes. All right, go in your crate. Good. Yes. Stay. And what I'm going to be doing is doing a few stays and maybe even a few tricks in there. Okay. Good girl. Sit. Yes, very good. Good job. Down. Okay. Okay. Yes. Really go in your crate. Yes, ma'am. Yes, good girl. What you can also do is if your dog isn't to this point where they can just go in whenever you lure them or something, just throw a treat in there. And when you throw a treat in, of course they're gonna try to go and get it. So if they're afraid of if they're kind of claustrophobic, then just take the lid off as I'm doing here. And just throw the treat in, and every time they go in, reward them again. Okay? Good girl, yeah! Sit. And what I'm doing is doing other tricks before I add her there so that she doesn't try to predict everything that I'm doing. Pop. Yes, pop. Good girl. Woof. Yes. Woof. Woof. Yes, good girl. When she does that, she doesn't like to bark right away sometimes, so I don't reward her until she barks. Hi. Yes. Good girl. Hi. Yes, good job. I'm gonna have her stay for a little while, and we'll see how she does in there. Stay. And I'm gonna release her. Okay, good girl. Sit. Leave it alone. Come here. Yes. Okay. Good girl. And for tricks like these, you don't have to do them for extremely long periods of time. 5 minutes is totally cool. You don't have to do 30 minutes. It's because Amberly is getting older, I don't have to do like 30 minutes 3 times a day like I did when I first got her. It was basically 30 minutes a day every meal time, so I fed her 3 times a day. But I don't have to do that anymore, not as much, because she knows more, and you know, 5 minutes a day will keep them just like, it's enough to keep them excited and into the lesson. But always make sure that you have good currency and that they're super interested in it. If the dog is not excited during your training session, well, then they're just gonna associate it with something they don't really enjoy. So you really gotta work hard to find what they like. She is very treat motivated. I will sometimes use toys because, you know, sometimes she's in a more mood to play with toys. Come here, baby. Okay, go. And, or, depending on where you are, if you're training, or you can really leave it alone. You good? But if you are outside, you can reward them with their environment. So say I'm out and she wants to meet the other dogs, but I'm like, okay, before you do that, you have to work for it. So I can have her do quite like a few tricks, like just a paw, something even simple. It doesn't even have to be anything extravagant, like a jump over me or something. So you can just have them do a small trick, and then once they do it, if they're able to be off leash, take off their leash, make them wait and stay, and then let them go. And you're rewarding them with their environment or the other dogs. Yeah, so now I think she's fairly comfortable with going into the crate without the top. So what I'm gonna do is move up and add the top. I'm not gonna add the door yet. So I'm gonna add the top and have her go in and out through that. I might not add the bed yet. I'm gonna add a bed maybe later. Let's get right on that. As you can see, the top is on and she's sniffing it out. Like, it's a totally different, you know, feel to it because top isn't off anymore. So what we're gonna do is get her used to being in there. It's definitely different, more different than her actual crate. That's why we're training her, is because she doesn't exactly know the feel of this because it might be claustrophobic. She doesn't really like dark spaces, so that's why we're training. Yes. Can you go in your crate? No? Oh. Go in your crate. No. You go in your crate? Yes, ma'am. Good girl. Okay. And release her right away. So as you can see, it took a couple of tries to actually get her in. She was a little bit confused, but every time she would go up, I would just gently push her off, gently, and then put her in. And really go in your crate. Yes, good girl. Yes, okay. Good job. So she knows every time she goes in, there's nothing bad happening. She gets a treat and she's immediately released. So sit. What I'm having her do is come right onto her bed. Good girl. What we eventually want to be able to do is, I want to be able to be in a different room and say, go to your crate. And she'll go inside. Hey, good girl. Yes, good job. See, even like what I'm just saying, she's getting it. So that's why repetition is key. It's not always going to be done in one training session. So that's why you're going to have to do it daily. Okay. Good girl. And really go in your crate. Yes. You down. Yes, ma'am. So now I'm going to be over here, which is quite a bit farther. Can you go in your crate? Yes! Good! And for most of the time, if you even just change the distance by a little bit, by a little bit, so I was here before, right? If you change the distance just a little bit and you're here, it can be 1,000 times harder sometimes. That's why, if that's too much, then you just go back to your original and just review for them. So I'm like, okay. Good. Yes. Wait. So, if this was good and I got this down, she can go in your crate. Yes. Good girl. Yes. Okay. Sit. Good. Then, if this was too far, like 2 steps is too far and she wouldn't understand, then I would go 1 step back. See, and she's automatically going. And because, even though I didn't give a cue to her going in, stay. I'm going to reward her because I want every association with this to be positive, so she wants to go inside. Now this is a little bit easier for her because I've already taught go in your crate to her for another crate. I'm just adding it to this because this is also her crate. Okay. Good job. And really go to your crate. what I'm also going to be doing is putting this actually in the living room and adding her bed to it and making it like her safe space, because as you know, I'm not going to be there when she's in there. So I want this to be hers and her safe spot where she can go when she's like tired or something, and she gets super used to it, which you can also do.
Kimberly, place. Yes, sit. Wait.
So she's gonna stay right there and really go in your crate. Yes! And you see how she tilted her head? She was trying to understand what I was saying. But even though she did, because of repetition, she knows where to go. And really? Okay, can you place? This is the last one. Sit. I'm gonna go even farther, you won't see me. Stay. And really? Go in your crate. What's wrong? Oh, you okay? Good job. Good girl. Okay, I'm done. Wait. Okay. At that point, she was already getting distracted, and I wanted her to do one last before she broke her stay and broke her focus with me. So I had her do it one more time, and then once I was done, I rewarded her, I released her, and I'll show you in a bit. We have this ledge here. Now, when we first came, I made sure that she was not allowed to go down these steps, down this ledge, out over there. You see there's so much out there, and there are a bunch of birds that she could have gotten a hold of when we first came. But what I had her do is I trained her to she's not allowed to go off height without me saying, okay, so wait. The reason why I use this area is because it's like such a big difference, and she would be able to tell easily. So I'll show you what I do. Emily, good, wait. Okay. And there she goes. Now, the reason why I did this was you could see there are ducks there, there's guinea fowl and all of that stuff. I wanted to make sure that she wouldn't go down without me knowing and get in trouble or get hurt or the birds. So that's just what I did. But I reward her with her environment instead of just treats. So I say okay, and she's allowed to go out there. That's basically it. Next video I'll probably do with the gate and stuff. I'll keep working on this. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get to the point where I can just close the door and stuff, and she'll be totally cool just to chill in there. Yeah. Baby, can you go in your crate? Go in your crate. Yes. Good girl, wait. Look at this. Oh my word. This is literally so cute. Hi. Okay. Good girl. Okay. And she takes it inside. Nala, your baby. As I said, 5-minute intervals. I did 7 minutes this time, but like 5-minute intervals is totally cool. Just review like twice a day or however many times you want, really. But 5 minutes is more than enough to train a new trick, as you saw, or review an old one. Treats that I used were actually like a homemade bread that my mom used, so like you know what's all in there, and bread is safe. You could use normal bread for dog treats, but I used whatever I had on me. I hope you enjoyed this. I will upload the next video for when she's more trained into that. Remember guys, consistency is key. You want to just train consistently because, well, you'll just have to review it more. And just every day, 5 minutes a day is not a lot. Just, you can even set up like a time or like dates for these different tricks to do depending on how much your dog knows. Some days I will just review stay for that entire day. Stay and wait and obedience training, because those are extremely important, and once your dog knows them, you want to review them all like throughout the day, because those are the tricks that you use every day throughout the day. Like as you see, I always use stay, wait, and okay, sit down, you know, and leave it alone. Those are what I use constantly. So those were the foundation tricks, well, foundation obedience training for when I first got her. She'll be 2 in February, so she's come a long way. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and stick around if you want to see more.